The genesis of collaborative response began in a small school in southern Alberta, Claresholm Elementary School, in the mid-2000s. We were a school that had great teachers who loved their students. We had embedded time for collaboration for a number of years prior to beginning this work. Special education processes were established with the practice of labeling and then pursuing resources such as funding for educational assistance, as was the common practice at the time. As we began to examine the data currently available in the school, it was apparent that 10 to 15% of our students were not achieving acceptable standards, and we had limited school-wide structures and processes to address those identified needs. This was a great school doing great things for students, but we knew there were areas that could be stretched and expanded upon.
As a school, this led to the exploration of some integral questions that necessitated a response from our staff and leadership team. Those questions included: how can teachers ensure student success with increasing classroom complexity? How can we organize teams and ensure collaborative efforts are focused? How can we effectively structure data-informed team conversations? And then how can we shift response to intervention-like structures to really enhance the collective efficacy of the entire team? So upon reflecting on these questions and following a ready, fire, aim philosophy of doing a bit of research and then putting actions in place, we began to explore some modified elements, which included the way we were meeting to discuss our students. We knew we needed a structure that would allow our teacher teams to be proactive, as well as access each other's expertise through the lens of which students should we be supporting. We wanted to be able to use our assessment information that was available to us currently to clearly identify students and their potential needs. However, that also then uncovered that we needed to really look at some alternative ways of screening students that could be done school-wide. We are also beginning the process of identifying and articulating what everyone was doing to support students. Again, great teachers doing great things, but what was happening in our classrooms and maybe not shared beyond those walls. Through this, it began to really deprivatize expertise and open up new levels of vulnerability amongst the entire team.
As we struggled through introducing and refining what we were doing as a school, it was certainly a messy process, reflective of that ready, fire, aim philosophy. We tried things that worked and things that didn't. We acted, reflected, revised, and continued to move forward, building momentum that seemed to be impacting not only more students, but staff engagement and something we would come to know years later as collective efficacy. As a result, the word started to spread of some things that were happening a little bit differently in our school. Schools began to request opportunities to visit, and we began to get requests to share what it was that we were doing. We needed a language and a framework to help others understand the interconnectedness of what was happening even at that early stage. We began to identify what were the key pieces of something we referred to as collaborative response model, a way of coming together with high degrees of intentionality to respond to the needs of all students, not just those in my individual classroom.
What began as a grassroots school-based framework to effectively meet the needs of our students at that time has morphed into a way of thinking, a mindset, a way to structure organizations to ensure a collaborative response from the school to eventually the district perspective. From those early seeds sown at Claresholm Elementary School back in the mid-2000s, collaborative response has grown to articulate foundational components essential for providing a systematic, structured approach which ensures responsive support for students, but done so in a way that builds the professional capital of every team member across the entire organization. We know that every child deserves a team to ensure they receive the supports they need when they need them. Collaborative response is how we meet the goal of ensuring equity while enhancing learning and academic success for all.